When we interact with people online, we should stop treating them as if they're another like, subscriber, or follower, and we should start treating them like real people. Thanks for stopping by for today's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age by Dale Carnegie and Associates. If you've already joined us on this quest before, go ahead and give me a like so I know that you're here. And if this is the first video you've found of this channel, well, go ahead, stick around, and consider subscribing. And with all that said, let's go ahead and jump right into how to win friends and influence people in the digital age. While many of the concepts featured in this book are the same as the ones featured in the original How to Win Friends and Influence People, I wanted to bring you this specific version because I think there are a few extra concepts or a few ways where the original concepts are more applicable in the modern times in this internet age that we live in today. Now, there are four main parts of this book, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into part one, Essentials of Engagement. Pretty straightforward with the title called Essentials of Engagement. This section covers how you should engage with others when you're trying to win friends or influence people. There are a number of different subtopics within each part of this book, and I want to share three of them with you from part one. The first one is called Bury Your Boomerang. Think of this one like the golden rule. Whatever you put out there, just like a boomerang, it's going to spin around and come right back at you. So you want to treat others how you want to be treated. Now, this obviously sounds easy, but we all know it's easier said than done. But this is especially true in the digital age. Online, when you interact with people, sometimes there are people there called trolls that are just there to try to upset you, just there to try to poke you, try to make you mad. And when that happens, what we need to remember is we can just walk away. We can exit out of that app. We can, close our laptop and move on, or at least walk away for a few minutes if it's something we need to respond to for some reason. Walk away, come back with a cooler head, and respond in a less emotional and aggravated way. Topic number two is affirm what's good. We need to emphasize what is good. We need to focus on the good in other people. And if we do this, we're going to see more good in other people. If we focus on what's bad in people, we're only going to see what is bad in people. And nowadays, it's really tough because we have so much interaction through email, through text, through social media, where there's no tone, there's no emotion. It's just words on a screen. And it's very tough if you're constantly in a I'm finding the bad in people mode, then whatever they say, if you can put a negative tone with it, you will. And then it's going to come across in a negative way. If you're always looking for the good in people and you're always affirming the good in people, then that message they sent, even if the words in it aren't the best, you can maybe discern what somebody's trying to say. You can look at it from a different perspective, and the words that are coming through aren't going to immediately upset you because you're not anticipating this person trying to aggravate you. You're anticipating and looking for the good in them, and you're looking for the good in that message they're sending you. And the final topic from this part that I want to cover is connect with core desires. People love to talk about the things they enjoy, the things they're interested in. This is why we join so many online groups. This is why we follow certain people. This is why on Facebook, if you're into self-development like this channel, you would join the Self-Development Quest Facebook group. That's right, we are doing a shameless plug right now for the Self-Development Quest Facebook group and the 100 subscriber giveaway that's going on right now. Just started the Facebook group for this community, so head that way. Go ahead and join Facebook/group/Self-Development Quest. I think that's what it is. Either way, put it in the search bar, you'll find it. And because we reached that 100 subscriber milestone, we are going to be doing a raffle where the winner can choose a book that has been covered on this channel. And I'm just excited to give back to y'all, even if it's just a little way. I'm going to leave a link to the group in the description in case I gave it to you incorrectly. And if you don't want to join the group, but you still want to be in the raffle, go to any video on this channel that you want that book and just comment, I want this book. And on to part 2. This is called 6 Ways to Make a Lasting Impression. You only get one shot to make a first impression, so you better make it a good one. Out of these 6, I want to give you my favorite 3, so we're going to hop right into those. Number 1 is smile. Smiling makes other people smile. Smile when you talk to people. They can see it. Smile when you talk to people on the phone. They can hear it. Smiling is contagious. And without a doubt, when you are online, smiling can come through in whatever you're doing. If you're sending an email, smile while you're typing it up. You're going to use happier words. It's going to come through, I promise you, somehow, some way, in a positive manner. When you're sending a text message, smile. Maybe you won't be so angry if you're texting somebody and you're not happy with them. Try to smile through it. You're not going to be as angry when you send that text message. You're not going to use those angry words because you're smiling. You're trying to make yourself be happy. Let's all try to smile a little bit more, and I bet we can make the world a better place. Number 2 is reign with names. Everybody's name is the sweetest sound they have ever heard. Everybody likes hearing their own name. Now, in the digital world, we don't speak to each other. We're texting, we're emailing. And I think it's even more important because it's so easy. You've already got that person in your phone. It's so easy to just text them. They know who it's from. You know who you're sending it to. You're not using their name. When you're sending an email, again, they know who it's from, you know who you're sending it to. We don't always use people's names, and yes, it is etiquette to use their name, but I think just in general, that's why we've stopped using people's names when we interact with them face to face. So as much as it is, try to use people's names online, I think we need to get back to remembering to do it in person. Number 3, listen longer. Everything in this world is so instantaneous that it's not good enough if you had it now. You have to have it before you even asked for it. And we do the same thing when we're having conversations with people. We're not necessarily listening to what they're saying. We're listening for them to take a breath, for them to pause, for them to finish, so we can jump in and start talking about what we want to talk about, or we can respond, or we can finish their sentence for them. And this is a real issue. We need to stop. We need to slow down. We need to actually listen to what other people have to say without interrupting them, without thinking about what we want to say, so we're not actually listening to them. Because when we give people the chance to fully complete their thought, and then we respond to what they say, not just respond because they stop talking, that's going to grow your influence, because those people are going to feel like they've actually been listened to and heard, and that you understand what they have told you, just because you didn't interrupt them, just because you waited for them to finish talking before you spoke. And I'm going to give you a 4th one from this section, even though I told you only 3. And the 4th one is my first ROR of the day. Now, as you know, I believe every book we read is an investment in our own self-development. And I like to call this the return on reading, or ROR for short. So today's RORs are going to be interwoven within the video. And the first one I want to give you is the 4th topic from this part, and it's leave others a little bit better. Every time we interact with somebody, whether it's good or bad, we leave them a little bit better or a little bit worse. Even if it's just a passing conversation, you say hello to somebody, you say hello and use their name. You say hello but your head's down. You say hello, you use the wrong name. Somehow, some way, this is going to leave them a little bit better or a little bit worse. Let's focus on leaving people a little bit better. And in the digital age, it's so easy to sit behind your phone or sit behind your computer and look at a picture and not necessarily somebody's real face and tear them down. It's easy to not be as nice as you would be in person. It's easier to say things that maybe you wouldn't say if you were face to face. Don't tear people down just because you're behind a screen. Let's stop doing this. Let's start building people up. Let's leave people better. Part 3, how to merit and maintain others' trust. This is by far the longest section in the book. There are 10 subtopics in here. Now, I'm not going to go through all those, but I am going to give you a few of my favorites. Avoid arguments. Number 1. When you've argued with somebody, especially online, have you ever changed their mind? No. Have you ever understood their perspective? No. Why? Because arguing with people only makes both parties more hard and fast and stuck in their stance. Nobody wants to listen to anybody when the other person is arguing with them, telling them they're wrong. Again, online, it's easy to just ignore people and just say what you want to say and not listen to them and keep saying what you want to say, keep arguing and arguing and arguing. What we need to do is take the time to listen to somebody's perspective and not try to listen to it so we can poke holes, but let's listen to it and actually listen and take in what they have to say, and then explain your position on whatever the topic is, and hopefully both sides, at the end of the day, if they can't come to a compromise or they can't come to an agreement, they can at least understand the other person's perspective, they can understand the other person's stance, and they can have respect for one another. Number 2 is admit faults quickly. I don't know about you, but when I make a mistake and I own up to it right away, typically whoever I have wronged in that situation, because I owned up to it, they're much more likely to forgive me. And the same is true if someone makes a mistake and it affects me in some way. If they don't come to me and I find the mistake on my own and it's already caused a lot of headache, and they either completely deny it or at that time they say, oh yes, I made the mistake, I caught it, but I didn't tell you, that's more upsetting. If somebody comes to you right away and they say, hey, I made this mistake, I'm really sorry, what can we do to fix it? Naturally, I am much more willing to say, oh, no worries, like, of course we'll fix it. Definitely, let's work together on that. And I think we're all that same way, because we don't want people to feel bad. We want people to be happy. We want people to feel good. And if they make a mistake, a genuine mistake, and they come to us asking forgiveness, we are very willing to give that forgiveness and work together to resolve the issue. Next up is begin in a friendly way. Friendliness leads to more friendliness. And this is something we really need to remember in the digital age, especially when we're writing emails. I know I can use this reminder all the time because from time to time, my emails are not the most friendly. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. I just start writing and trying to get straight to the point, trying to be very direct. It doesn't always come across as nice as it should or as nice as I want it to, because I'm trying to just spew information and not necessarily convey a friendly attitude. I do feel like this is speaking to me, but it's not one of my RORs, but it's something we can all look at, and we can go back to some of the topics that we covered earlier. Take a deep breath, smile, and try to start in a friendly way, because remember, there's no emotion, there's no tone in an email, in a text message. It's all how the recipient interprets that. So you've got to make sure you can be extra friendly, especially if you're trying to meet somebody new, if you're trying to influence somebody. But more importantly, in those situations, maybe email, maybe texting, maybe that's not the best way to go about it. Maybe we need to pick up the phone or send an email to schedule a face-to-face meeting so we can really get to know each other and start off on a friendly foot in person. Next up is surrender credit. Don't take all the credit. You don't like it when people take all the credit, especially when it was a team effort. And you don't want to be that person that takes all the credit when there were others that helped you along the way. I like to think of this in the reciprocity sense of others want to share in whatever you're sharing in. And there's a saying that goes, double the joy, half the sorrow. When you're giving credit to others and it's a success, well, hey, everybody feels that huge success. When you're giving credit or others are taking credit for a failure, but you're taking that credit as a team, well, that's one failure divided up among everybody, where when it's a win, every single person gets a win. So if you got 5 people, you each get 1/5 of the blame, or you get 5 different wins. That's how I interpret it, and that's why it's great to surrender the credit. And the 5th topic I want to cover is ROR number 2, appeal to noble motives. We all crave transcendence. We all want to be part of something bigger, something more meaningful than what our tiny lives are right now. And we all want to have a greater impact on the world and the people in it. And I don't know, maybe this is a Generation Y thing. I don't like saying millennial, that's got a negative tone. Maybe this is a Generation Y and Generation Z thing, but we want to have it said of us that we were a part of something bigger. We rose above, we took a stand, we reached beyond, and we made the world a better place. We did what was right and honorable. So let's not assume that people are out to do wrong. Don't assume anything. Don't make assumptions. We all know the saying about what happens when you assume. And honestly, it's 100% true. But if you must assume that they have noble motives and noble causes behind their actions. And finally, part 4, how to lead change without resistance or resentment. You know who likes change? No one. No one likes change. Whether people don't like change and they admit they don't like change, or people say, oh, I like change because I know everything inevitably changes and change leads to growth. You know what those people don't like? They still don't like change because we like routine. We like things the way we like things. And as leaders, it's never easy to make the change, but change is inevitable. So I'm going to hit up on 4 key topics in this section, and I don't necessarily believe these have a way of applying specifically online or how you can apply these online in some way. These are just 4 great topics carried over from the original How to Win Friends and Influence People that just apply to life in general. Begin on a positive note. Are you starting to notice a trend? I am. We had smile. We had begin in a friendly way, and now we have begin on a positive note. If you can't catch that trend, man, at this point in the book, it's really gone over your head. Number 2, call out mistakes quietly. No one wants to be called out, especially in front of their peers, in front of their coworkers, their friends, their family, whatever it is. So if there's something that you have been tasked with pointing out to somebody that they've made a mistake, do it somewhere quietly, do it somewhere discreetly where you can go over ways they can overcome this mistake. You can go over ways that you can work together to coach them on getting through this specific situation and making sure it doesn't happen in the future. Number 3, ask questions instead of giving orders. Do you know who likes getting orders? Nobody. Nobody likes getting orders. But if you ask people a question, then sometimes they can kind of figure out what you're trying to get at and what they were supposed to do. And I'll use my kids as an example for this one. If I tell them, hey, go pick up your toys, they're probably not going to pick up their toys. If their mother tells them, they'll go pick up their toys. If I tell them, they don't really care. But if you don't tell them to go pick up their toys, you say, have you picked up your toys yet? Typically, what they're going to do is think about it for a second and then go pick up their toys because they know, ooh, I was supposed to pick up my toys and I didn't. I didn't tell them to go pick up their toys. I just asked them if they did, and I'm going to get a much better response from them, and they're more likely to go pick up their toys. And the 4th and final topic is ROR number 3, give people a fine reputation to live up to. People can live up to or down to our perception of them. If we treat someone disrespectfully and if we treat them like they're unimportant, well, that's how they're going to act and that's how we're going to perceive them. So let's stop this. Let's give people a fine reputation to live up to. Let's start treating them with the respect they deserve, not for the person that they are, but for the person they have the potential to become. You know, there's a lot of people that become the best versions of themselves, not because they alone decided to do it and they alone were able to do it by themselves. It's because of the people around them, pushing them to become better. We have to hold others to a higher standard so they in turn hold themselves to a higher standard. I think this is really the culmination of the book for me personally, and it's why it's my favorite return from this book. My final thoughts are I liked the book. I didn't love it. I think the classic is what it is for a reason. I think it's more popular for a reason. I think How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age didn't live up to that in the digital age portion because one, it was written a while ago and technology advances so quickly, some of the facts and some of the examples they use in it are already outdated. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have to constantly be updating it at least every couple of years, if not on an annual basis. And because it's not, I don't believe it lived up to the in the digital age portion, and therefore I think How to Win Friends and Influence People, the original, the classic, is just a better read. That's going to do it for me. My question for all of you is, what was your favorite topic that I covered in this video? Or what is your favorite topic from How to Win Friends and Influence People if you've read it? Look for my answer in the comment section down below. And remember, on this, your self-development journey, always keep growing.